they end up doing heinous crime. I'm just not talking about rape over here,
No, no, yeah.
but molesting or even thinking about female
Yeah,
as if she is available for sex is something which is going to happen in the future if the child has been not aware of things.
correct.
What sex is all about and why it is important for them to know about it
Hmm,
and end it as another level of curiosity.
correct.
Give and take
Yeah,
for
yeah.
kids telling about mental health to the parents and parents listening to what the child has to say about mental
Correct.
health.
Hello everyone, I'm Tanisha from Mon Foundation and we are back with our interesting conversations around men's mental health. Today, we are delighted to join by Mrs. Rucha Shikhande, a consultant psychologist specialized in clinical psychologist, experience from Kuwait. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. Welcome to our podcast. We are so delighted to speak about so many important conversations around men's mental health as well as why is sex education should be compulsory in schools.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, first of all, Tanisha and Mount Foundation to get me on board. Definitely, there's a lot to discuss about men's mental health and sex education and awareness with it,
Yes,
the kind of uh, stigmatization it has got around over the years.
correct,
So I am looking really forward to take our conversation ahead and ensure that people get some insights
correct.
after listening to us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, could you please brief about your work experience to our audience and what kind of immense, exposure you got there in Kuwait, and how is it different there and in India?
Absolutely. So, I am Mrs. Rucha Shrikande Devekar, a consultant psychologist, which means that I have done my master's in clinical psychology and a certified course from Neemhans, Bangalore. It's been around 10 years that, I started working in mental health
Okay.
with 5 years of experience in two of the renowned hospitals in Pune, may it be Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital and Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune Station branch. That was one part of my interest in psychology. But what actually started was to work with students,
Correct.
school students, by letting them understand what mental health is all about.
Right.
Because if you see, even now, you go through any board, there is a quick subject called as the value skills or the moral
Yeah.
sciences, which absolutely is not taken as a considerated subject
Correct.
and which is unfortunately not going to the right place at the right time.
Hmm.
So that's where 10 years back I started working with many schools around
Okay.
in and around Pune, where I started making kids perform
Hmm.
on script which was made by me and my team,
Oh.
which was all about mental health.
Okay.
So kids used to dance, act, sing for 3 hours,
Hmm.
all about mental health,
Oh wow.
and the audience were their parents. So it was like a give and take
Yeah,
for
yeah.
kids telling about mental health to the parents and parents listening to what the child has to say about mental
Correct.
health.
That's a very unique and great, initiative towards the
Yes,
children.
yes, and I look forward to take that ahead. Though now that I'm little aging, choreographing all the dance and everything would be now difficult. But then I got this very rich experience. I got lucky, I would say, and enough to get into Kuwait and work there as a psychologist.
Right.
As you asked, the difference, yes, there is an immense difference because when we leave our home country and as an expatriate, we go through a lot of bouts of loneliness,
Correct.
episodes of depression. There's constant FOMO happening with people in our country, at our home.
Right.
So I saw a different life altogether over there. Now it's been 2 years, and it has been, one of a very big milestone of
Correct.
my journey in psychology and mental health. And not just that, I taught 12th standard students
Oh,
for their board exams with psychology. So, putting my experience into teaching and
teaching.
training
Correct.
was something which was a very different shift
Hmm.
altogether. And it also made me feel great that tomorrow these children will either come back to India or they'll go somewhere else
Else.
and take mental health forward.
Correct.
So, that is how I would like to conclude that.
And that is how the those small steps take the psychology and mental health as a field ahead,
Absolutely. So
because it
I
begins in the childhood level of a children, and then it takes up to their whole life.
absolutely,
So
absolutely. I feel that, if say if you think fifth grade to 10th grade, if this subject is told, and not just for the question answers thing per se, but as a personal growth and
correct.
experience, it definitely would make a lot of big difference in the society, and people will have a different outlook towards seeing life.
Correct.
Stress, anxiety being a part of us,
Right.
I think coping mechanisms would be something which kids will learn a little sooner in their life than actually going to the challenge or the crisis in their life
And
and
then
then learning
learning
from
it.
it.
Correct.
So I think that's needed. That's where we lag, I think.
Correct. So, ma'am, nowadays one of the most trendiest topic on like around and in mental health is sex education. So, what do you think about that? How is sex education so relevant in mental health as an entire field?
I'm very sure that all our listeners and even you would be knowing about our father of psychology,
Yes.
uh, Sigmund Freud. So, Freudian psychoanalysis theory talks about the psychosexual developmental stages. It may be oral, anal, phallic, latency
Correct.
stage. So, if we go through, the psychoanalysis or by the Freudian's approach, it says that the development or the personality or the id, ego, super ego is all done with the achievement, incorporation, or the fixations of the child in those 5 stages, right?
Correct.
Similarly, I think sex education is very important in mental health because after every growth, it may be physical or mental, there has to be something which goes with the mind, which has to do something with the libido, which is the pleasure principle. So, definitely, sex education and mental health to a greater extent go in hand in hand. I would like to give an illustration. Kids are very curious about something called as sex, and then they get into a lot of addiction of porn, and which certainly leads into over masturbation in boys, especially in boys. So why this happens is because no one talks about it, because
Correct.
again, the stigma.
Stigma.
So I think if it is being told at their right age, once they start the pubertal change in their lives, about why some hormones change in the body, what is puberty, what exactly to expect in the body of teen, is very important for that child to be known. For example, I remember when I was in school, say like 15 years, 20 years back, I remember when I got my first menses, after that time I was known about sex.
Correct.
So, if things are being told a little
Earlier.
close, I'm not saying that in second, third standard, sit with your child or, give some, lectures on sex education. No, even sometimes giving a lot of information before they should be able to take it also leads to dangerous problems.
Correct.
So, there should be a balanced
Balance.
time, that this is the time, say around 6 7 standard, if you see, where the child is around 13 to 14 years of age, is the right time to hit the topic to them via school, via classes, or via parents. That's the
Correct.
best way to put them as messengers than social media.
One
These
of the biggest problems.
So, social media makes it more obvious and curious.
Right.
And then that curiosity leads into a lot of misleading of, entire sex. Even nowadays, there is a lot of body dysmorphic,
Yeah.
which is body dysmorphia, which is talked about in kids. I'm talking about students who are in 6 7 standard, and
Yeah.
they say that they don't feel the way they should in the
Should.
body they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That's something very much surprising, that of course, I am a LGBTQ affirmative, but sometimes I feel that it is also to do with a lot of social validations, that if I'm a bisexual, for an example, it's to be cool. That is what unfortunately the Gen Z is taking up.
Correct.
So, we need to work on these gaps, and that only can best happen when we have a naive mind with us, where they're very pure and they might be in an accepting stage that what sex is all about and why it is important for them to know about it and end it as another level of curiosity.
Correct.
Because sometimes curiosity makes the person do a lot of mistakes, which has to do with a lot of regrets in the future.
Right, right.
So, I think taking it hand in hand with the time is very important. I'm here not talking about the good touch and the bad touch. It's completely different. It's going into a lot of sexual harassment, pedophilia, and POSCO and all of that. Good touch, bad touch, yes, should be taught to the kids who are of lower grades, not just girls, by the way. I think boys also go through a lot of sexual
yes.
harassments. But by the time they come in their 5th, 6th, 7th standard with the levels, I think they should be aware of sex and they should be aware of its repercussions on their mental health.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like, all the education boards in schools apparently claim that they have a, a separately subject where they teach their students about sex education or, life development, personal development. But if we see the reality, it's completely opposite. There is no very openly concepts which they are speaking about openly in classrooms. No, the teachers even use such terminologies, and that is even used once or twice in the whole duration of the class. So how we will be able to achieve sex education, and how we'll be able to destigmatize that?
So, as you said it right, I think teachers and the educators should not have any bias or awkwardness while talking about it.
Correct.
When we now see science classes, sometimes in the textbooks, when I refer, when there are reproductive organs
Organs,
introduction, there has been omitted written by pencil. And then that's the point where the child wants to know because it has been told to be omitted.
Omitted, right.
So it's a reversal psychology, if you say. Like, when you're not supposed to do something, when you've been told to not do something, you're prone to think that what happens if I do this.
Correct.
So I think if the educators are educated enough to talk about sex more openly, I think the suppression will go off.
Correct.
What happens, especially in men, now that we're talking about the men's
Mental health.
and sexual health, it all starts at this primitive age. If a boy is not open or known about the other sex, about his sex, he is rapidly going to get into something called as a social anxiety,
Yeah.
where probably talking to another sex or another girl would be a big problem, a big hurdle for him in his life. So to avoid this, I think it's better that there should be a different co-curricula, just like we have physical education, where it's just not about mental health or the moral sciences, but also life skills and real.
Correct.
That how you should, talk to a girl, or how should a girl address to a boy. This all should be, I won't say taught, because at the end it's all the experiential wisdom, I believe, that we all get in. But I think they should be giving the situations for the children to also think in that way.
Correct.
I mean, I remember I was told to go for a school to give them a lecture on mental health, okay, and that too only for girls,
Okay.
because it was on menstruation.
Okay.
So I was in a collaboration. This was in Kuwait last year. This was in a collaboration with a gynecologist. So when the organization gifted a sanitary pad to the girls, the boys in the class were extremely curious about what these girls have got.
Correct.
So my point is, here if we show the boys also that what we are giving to the girls,
Yeah.
I think the tampons and pads, I think it should be talked more openly.
Yeah, that is something to be much more openly discussed about, because if boys don't know
Exactly.
what they are about, so how they will, have the ability to, present it to a. So how the boys will learn how to actually treat a girl during her menses.
Exactly. whenever, like if not her girl or his girlfriend or his wife in the
Yeah.
future, but even he should be able to understand that okay, my mom is in a female's body,
Mm.
so if she is menstruating, what I should expect and what I should do in return for
Correct,
her, for
correct.
her to feel good.
Good.
So I think, you know, it should be an open interaction,
Mm.
not to a level where people are, you know, I mean, kids are talking about it openly,
Yeah.
but in a very sensible approach. If it is put through kids, probably through dramas or
Mm.
storytelling, I think definitely can help kids to get matured
Right.
with understanding of sexual health.
And I think it starts with the classroom itself. School is the most primary stage where the children are spending most of their lives there and learn so many things. And then secondary is the family or the parents who teach them what is sex about and how, you know, how you should treat each other with respect and empathy during whatever kind of situations you are in. Because then when the children are in their teenage part, that is the most crucial one. And if you are not very open about these topics, sex education and mental health, then where the problems actually begin.
Absolutely. Suppression, I feel, begins at the very this stage when a child wants to know more about sex, but because of the stigma, he is not aware. And
Uh,
then the curiosity, you know, levels up to an extent where males end up, even if they are of good character, they end up doing heinous crime. I'm just not talking about rape over here,
no, no, yeah.
but molesting or even thinking about female
Yeah,
as if she is available for sex is something which is going to happen in the future if the child has been not aware of things.
correct.
So I think it's very important to not let the suppression of knowing about you know, sexual organs, or I would say even the products, like, you know, even with contraceptions and condoms, there is so much of myth and,
Mm,
you know, curiosity unfortunately developed in school children,
yeah.
that they feel that there is something very big and glossy about it,
Mm,
which, you know, if you see in life as an adult, it's something which is very natural,
very common,
very
yeah.
common,
Mm.
exactly. But I think if we end this curiosity with the right, you know, right level of them to understand and
Yeah.
stop it there, I think that can help us
That
very.
can help. So, ma'am, going ahead, in your experience, how does the absence of formal sex education affect boys' emotional and behavioral development?
Well, with the formal education, I think it would streamline smoothly
Mm-hmm.
about, you know, the boy also getting through what he is going through.
Mm.
Maybe with his voice becoming more hoarse, or probably a little mustache and the splurge, you know. Even if you see 10 standard, 16 years old boys, they grow from nowhere, you know.
Mm.
So, you know, if they're being a little formally educated about this is going to happen in the future, in say like 6 months, this is what you should expect from your body, would help them to, you know, address the changes more
Correct.
beautifully
Mm.
than rather thinking what's happening to me. But I think this was my generation and the later generation where everything that was happening was also giving us a lot of anxiety because we were not aware of it,
Correct, correct.
that okay, this is what is going to
Hmm.
happen for girls. I mean, you know, the breast enlargement or the tenderness, we were never told about it, you know,
Correct.
or we were told about it when we were already surpassed that
Hmm.
milestone, you
Hmm.
know, when we are
Right.
already experienced. So
You know, the sudden adaptation of wearing bras and sudden adaptation of having a week dedicated to just bleeding there and suffering through pain, and we don't know how to deal with that,
yeah,
those surge of emotions during that period. And you know, moms telling us that it's okay, it shall pass, and those terminologies, and we still have no idea in this world that, you know, why is the sanitary pad uh, in existence since so long, but we are not aware of it till now. So
so yeah, I think, you know, if again, if the boards, whatever education boards we have, it maybe, I don't want to name them, but
hmm.
the boards and the ministry, if they come up with a pattern which is fixated for all the boards, and if
Hmm.
it is a formal, no, I wouldn't say syllabus. When we call it a syllabus, it more goes into reading, writing, and by
Yeah,
hearting things. But
yeah.
you know, if it can be as important as how physical education or library science
Yeah,
is,
how life skills.
life skills is, definitely it can have a very good, better picture in the future.
Correct, correct.
And especially with men, because I feel boys are the ones, and especially when I talk about it in India, I feel that boys since childhood are always being told to suppress.
Hmm.
Because if a boy or if any man is wanting to express, he's been doubted if he is a man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how the society is.
is
I mean, we are changing, but the kind of, the speed of change is as slow as a turtle walking.
correct.
So I think it's very important to inculcate this in the education system as soon as possible.
Correct. So whenever I'm interviewing interviewee, and I ask that, is there any sex education topic you have ever spoke about in any earlier podcast? So they say though that no, sex education is compulsory in schools. In Maharashtra, it is compulsory in schools. But when I ask them a question that, you know, being brought up in Maharashtrian family culture, and going to schools, have you ever witnessed a proper formal sex education in schools? So they are just blank, they are just spaced out that yeah, we never had any apparently formal sex education. They always spoke that there is a life skill development, or good touch, bad touch. So how misconceptions also grow misunderstanding that yeah, we received a sex education in our schools, but no, that wasn't a formal sex
Right.
education.
Even I would like to correct you over here. There are many, uh, you know, uh, I would say sessions, seminars, which I also, had to attend. In that, what they used to do is they used to segregate females
Hmm?
and males.
Okay.
And then they used to only talk about sex education for a female's body to females, and for the boys, the boys, males reproduction to the boys.
Okay.
So even I found it a little disappointing with the diversification of
Hmm.
the gender roles over here. So I think it should be again put together
Yeah.
and shown together. If it's a unisex, school, if it is completely a, not co, yeah, co-ed school where it is only just boys or it's
Yeah.
just girls, then it all stands different. But
Hmm.
if it is, a mixed school, I think that it's better that they both show, they show both of the reproductive
Correct.
systems and the development of the sexual organs
Hmm.
to both the genders,
No,
and
no,
not,
absolutely.
differentiate between that.
Hmm.
Because then again, that becomes a point of curiosity.
Correct, correct. So nowadays we also often hear about cases where children children's heinous crimes are involved, and so can structured sex education help boys understand what is consent, what is mutual understandings and feelings involved in a sexual act?
Definitely. I think that's again what I was trying to put you that, sometimes curiosity makes a lot of mistakes when even the individual is not wanting to do that.
Hmm.
So, for an example, if this boy who is not aware of, sex in general gets into a lot of addiction of porn,
Hmm.
he will always see any female which comes in front of him available for sex.
Hmm.
So that's how his mind is always looking for sex, or even for, there are some tendencies where I have heard of many clients where they say that, when they see something, they feel very erotic.
Hmm.
Why this happens is because the importance that, the other partner has to give you an consent
Hmm.
is not talked about.
Correct.
And when you see like people who are into addictions, especially of porn is something which is not to do with the reality.
Correct.
So again, there's a lot of expectations from that boy
Hmm.
that he wants it from his partner, and then that becomes a point of conflict.
Correct.
So I think ending the curiosity at the right time again is
Yeah,
very important.
very important.